drive to right field. This ball is gone. Gone and into the history books.
The Seattle Mariners, Felix Hernandez, the 2-2. He got it! 34 years, 119 games. It's finally happened. A perfect game by a Seattle Mariner. It was done by the King.
And the 0-1 pitch on the way to Edgar Martinez. Swung on and line down the left field line for a base hit. Here comes Joy. Here is Junior to third base. They're going to wave him in. The throw to the plate will be late. The Mariners are going to play for the American League Championship. I don't believe it. It just continues. My, oh my. And they are going crazy at the Kingdom.
Welcome to the Corner of Edgar and Dave, your Seattle Mariners baseball fan podcast. Currently the fan podcast of the number one baseball team in the American League West, Nick.
Yeah, up until
first place.
We had the best win percentage in the whole American League too.
Yeah, your first place Seattle Mariners. It's gonna be an interesting week though. We'll get into that. We're pretty much like right now like the third best team in baseball, but we unfortunately this week we have to play the number one and number two teams in baseball. So
yeah, back
good
to back.
Good playoff preview. That's right. Good playoff preview. Anyways, Nick, I know I'm so jealous of you, and you've told me not to be jealous, but I know that you are in on the show, and since I'm a pleb, I don't get my show access until tomorrow because I bought the normal version. But I know you've had it for like the last half a week, so tell us of the glory.
Oh boy. I mean, I'm not loving it as much as I thought I was going to, but I mean, I love it. Still the show, right?
Yeah.
But like, so I don't know if you like paid attention to any of like the communities around the show last year, but everyone and their mom was complaining about like check swings and how like if you check swing 9 out of 10 times, like it would go in the batter's favor.
Really?
But
so you could swing, you could like pre-swing every time.
Yeah.
And just check it.
Yeah.
I did not know that was a thing.
And so in this game, it's the complete other way. Like
you can't check a swing.
No, you can't check swing at all. It's literally like 9 or like 9.5 out of 10 times. Like they'll just call it a strike anyways. And I'm used to check swinging all the time because I like to cheat the system.
Yeah. So now you're out here. Now you're out here just striking out like crazy.
I am literally double-digit strikeouting every game. It's so bad. It's so bad. I hate it so much. Like,
did you get any?
Let me play baseball on easy mode again.
Did you get any good Diamond Dynasty cards?
Other than my like Griffey card, no.
Is that just one that everyone gets? I saw you had like a 95 Griffey. Does everyone get that, or is that just lucky?
So, I think it came with the pre-order. Okay. So, like, with the pre-order, like, upgraded edition or whatever, I think it came with it, and then it was like, you can pick him or, like, Chipper Jones or, like, who are the other ones? There's some other dudes, but I don't remember. But then I also got a free Roberto Clemente card. I think everyone gets that one.
All right, that's pretty cool. The highlight of my week is a little bit less baseball related. We went to our local game store, just because we happen to be like the game store that we go to is like on the complete opposite side of the town from us, but it's near Costco, and so we happened to be going to Costco, and I was like, and they have a cafe with really nice food, and I was like, oh, we should go over there since we're already gonna be on that that side of El Paso, and so we went there, got food, but they happened to be selling, they'll have like different bakery items essentially kind of every day. They had giant cookies. I'm not kidding you. This cookie is the size of like a medium pizza. Like, it is absolutely huge cookie. It's taken us forever to eat, but it's been the most delicious thing I think I've ever had. It's just covered in like frosting and sprinkles, and I mean I'm a big sprinkles person. I love the rainbow sprinkles. I could pretty much put rainbow sprinkles on anything.
So I like to call them jimmies because I think it's funnier. But I don't put the jimmies on anything. Jimmies are a no-go on my food.
Really? You don't like the rainbow sprinkles, huh?
No, they taste bad. I like them.
Crazy.
Jimmies are weak.
Crazy. Okay. Wow. Okay. We just got to get into Mariners news then. I'm just over here processing the fact that, so like, if you go to Menchie's, I don't even know if you go to Menchie's, but if you go to Menchie's, you don't put rainbow sprinkles on your Menchie's?
No, on my Menchie's, I like to like drench that shit in like the fudge and shit.
Okay.
And then I really like I like to put Oreos in my ice cream.
Okay.
And
yeah.
I really like the chocolate chips and there's another one, but I don't know. I haven't gone there in a while.
I'm pretty consistent. I always get, so the Menchie's by our house, it has a pistachio and Oreo ice cream, or yogurt mix. So I mix that pistachio and Oreo, and then I put a layer of rainbow sprinkles on, and then on top of that, I dust the whole thing in a nice layer of crushed Butterfinger. That's my Menchie's order. And it's pretty delicious.
Yeah. I do like me some Butterfingers. I don't love them, but I do go for them every once in a while.
Yeah, I mean, you know me. I always got to get the Butterfingers.
Yeah, I think that's something you probably picked up from our dad. I don't know if he still likes them, but I remember as a kid he had a thing for Butterfingers.
Yeah, that's true. Interesting. All right, going into Mariners news, we got to start with what we always start with: the best thing you saw this week and the worst thing you saw. So, you want to go first, or should I go first?
You can go first because I can't find my phone because Andy stole it.
That's cool. The best thing that I saw this week, it had to, and it kind of relates to probably my worst thing that I saw. So again, I gotta put myself on blast again. I didn't tweet this out, so it's not like the epic cold take like we had last week, but I texted you after the first inning, Marco's first inning. I think he gave up like 2 runs right away, and and he was all over the place, and I was just like, I put it on Discord. I was like, man, Marco is a mess right now. He then went on to pinch a gem, didn't allow a single run over the rest of the game. I think he went like 5 or 6 innings, whatever he went in that 7-inning game. Pitched a gem, and that also has to be the best thing I saw. So that was the worst thing I saw, was again me with my ice cold takes. I think I'm just gonna every once in a while just like shit talk the Mariners to you, because they just immediately prove me wrong. So
yeah, I mean, go ahead. I mean, that's a pretty good week with you being a fucking dweebus.
Definitely the worst thing I saw was like my it was, you know what it was? It was my faith in Marco. It waned. It just slightly waned, and I was immediately punished
Andy,
in the best way possible.
You can't talk. Like, 1 second. My Andy's talking to me. What do you need? What do I want from Starbucks? We're ordering Starbucks.
No, I'm gonna go get.
Oh, I want what I normally get.
Ooh, what's your normal Starbucks order?
What's my normal Starbucks order? Do you know what it's called?
Frappuccino?
We're getting it on pod. What's it called? It's called a mocha cookie crumble.
Mocha? What is it? Is it a Frappuccino?
It's a iced frap.
Nice.
And it's a mocha, and it's got some cookies in it.
Okay, this is related. I got Gabby's so good one time. So Gabby was going to Starbucks, and she was ordering drinks or whatever, and I normally get a Frappuccino. I've kind of actually moved on to like having like coffee or whatever, but originally from Starbucks, I would only get Frappuccinos.
I'm still a frap man.
And I messed with her. She's like, what do you want? And I was like, oh, can I have the mocha Frappuccino? The name of the Frappuccino was the triple Frappuccino, the triple mocha Frappuccino is what it was. And so Gabby, not knowing any better, and this one you could still go into stores, goes into the store and goes to the girl, and she's like, and then she's like, what do you want? And Gabby puts her order in, and Gabby's like, oh, and can I get a mocha Frappuccino? And this girl stares at her like it was the dumbest thing she's ever heard in her life. I felt so bad for Gabby. I felt so bad for her.
When she said this?
What?
Were you there when that happened?
Yeah. And so this girl stares at her like she just insulted her family. Like, I didn't even realize. I guess I can get it. Like, the baristas can kind of get trolled a little bit. Like, their job is not the most fun or the easiest thing in the world, right?
Yes.
Is they're putting in a lot of orders, especially during rush time or whatever. And so they have this girl go in and go, can I have a mocha frappuccino? I think part of it too is that the girl was just like so not there for it that she couldn't even like comprehend the fact that Gabby was ordering the triple mocha frappuccino. Gabby just came in to like stare at me now that because I'm telling this story. Anyways, that's like one of my best trolls of my entire life was getting Gabby to order a mocha frappuccino at Starbucks.
That's really funny. Dude, no, the one I get though, I love it. I get it like every time I go there because one, I don't know any of the other items, and two, every time I order it and someone wants a sip of it, they're like, "This is like the best thing I've ever tasted." So I'm like, "Cool, I'll just stick to this then."
Dude, I actually have a problem. For the longest time, I didn't really know the difference between what I was ordering. Like Gabby would just always order for me, and I was at softball. This was just like a couple months ago. I was doing the PA for softball, and the girl that was in charge of marketing was like, "Hey, you know, I appreciate you doing the PA for us. I'm gonna go to Starbucks. Do you want anything?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I want a peppermint mocha." And she's like, "What is that?" And I was like, "Oh, a peppermint mocha." I thought that the mocha was the name of the drink. I thought it was just a peppermint flavored mocha, and mocha was the name of the drink. I didn't realize that mocha was a flavor as well. And then she's like, "Wait, but what do you actually want?" And I was just like, "A peppermint mocha coffee." And she's like, "But you have to like, is it a frappuccino? Is it a latte, cappuccino?" And I was like, "I don't know. I've never ordered Starbucks for myself. I've never had to explain to anyone what my order was."
Yeah. I'm right about there with you. I literally don't really get coffee by myself unless Mandy wants some. So, like, all I know is that mocha means chocolate, and, like, frappuccino means, like, iced or some shit.
It has, like, ice cream, right? The frappuccino, it's like an ice cream type drink.
Sort of. I think it's just ice. I think it just means iced coffee.
Yeah. Oh, maybe. I don't know. See, here's the thing. We need to get back to the Mariners because we are exposing ourselves. We are looking like Seattle. We are looking like Seattle frauds right now. Yeah, like we're gonna be like, "Oh, we're Seattle Mariners fans, and we can't even have a coffee discussion." Like we need to get back to the Mariners. We are biggest.
You're a Mariners fan, and you don't know what a frappuccino is.
we are exposing ourselves. We are exposing ourselves right now. And, okay, anyway, so I was exposed. Worst thing I saw. I shit talked Marco after one inning. He proved me wrong. Marco's back to being the best pitcher in baseball. Everything's good there, and that's really the best thing I saw was that day. And it's really been just our pitching in general, especially, and we're going to get into this later, our bullpen. Dude, we have like the best bullpen in baseball right now. The best thing I've seen, it has been our pitching, especially like this last week. Our pitching was so good this week. It was so good. And I especially just want to highlight, because I don't know exactly how much we're going to talk about him, that day where Marco goes out, throws a gem, and then Justin Dunn goes out and throws an even better gem. Like, Marco already threw a great game, and then Justin Dunn is like, "Yeah, I'm a one-up you, kid." And fantastic day. That was the best thing I saw this week.
Oof. Yeah, no, we had a pretty good week. Obviously, we went 5-2, right? I think my favorite part, like what I consider the best thing, was actually just when Houston came to Seattle. Well, there's two things actually for me here. They're both when Houston came to Seattle, and I loved, number one, the fans, and how much they wanted to rail the Astros the whole time.
Yeah,
I loved it so much. The environment was so much fun. And I saw like Carlos Correa strike out, and he looked over at the fucking fans, and they're all booing him. And
did you guys go to any games?
No, we wanted to.
Not this
time. Mandy was like, no. Mandy was like, no, we should go in May. And I was like,
yeah, you'll get him later in the season.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll get down to an Astros game this year.
Mm-hmm.
But then my second best thing that I saw was that game one against Houston, where they were down by, I want to say 3 or 4 in the 8th, and they just like rallied and brought it back and then hit the walk-off. That was such a really fun game to watch. I enjoyed it so much.
I mean, they just rallied there. These are the no quit kids. This is like, this is almost a little before our time, but we're getting to like refuse to lose territory, which is probably for my money the best like Mariners slogan that we've ever had. I mean, up there with like Soto Mojo. I mean, I'm always gonna love Soto Mojo, But like the refuse to lose years, while being a little bit before us, like that, these guys are reminiscent of those kind of teams.
I really enjoy the baseball they're playing, and I really enjoy it. So it's funny, maybe, and I'm looking at it now, and it's almost like, wow, this is a very Seattle trend. But like coming back in the back nine of a baseball game is almost like winning in the fourth quarter, like the Seahawks do.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Like not waking up until like it's crunch time, right? Like the Seattle Mariners sports are the world's greatest procrastinators. They're just that kid that's like, oh, we have 3 months to write this paper. Okay, I'll definitely start it the night before for sure. For sure.
And so it's funny after like watching this whole like last football season because I had nothing better to do. I mean, I didn't watch that much, but I watched a little bit. And now I'm watching the Mariners, and they're like maybe taking a page out of their book and just kind of not giving up. But a lot of it did come down to the bullpen just being kind of pretty close to lights out, right?
Yeah, I mean, I said it last week specifically about Chris Flexen, that he pitches with spunk. I like his spunk. This whole team's got spunk. This whole team is just like no quit. This whole team has just got, they're playing with spunk, for lack of a better word,
I mean, there's so many different guys this week that you could shout out to really point to the success. Obviously, like Chris Flexen, or even like the obvious ones are like Mitch Haniger and Ty France just continuing to have like the hottest bats on the team. Mm-hmm. And then you can also look at like J.P. Crawford, who is just really like stepping up his game and like getting into like the bat. Like the bat is catching up to the glove is what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah, for sure. JP has been hot this week.
It's just a really good week for Mariners, right?
Yeah, for sure. And it obviously because it ended up with us being the first place in the American League West. Like I have this little like pennant tracker that I have on my wall at work, and it was so satisfying today. I only changed it on Mondays. It was so satisfying to be able to take the Mariners off of that third place spot, take Houston off of the second place spot, and just slap the Mariners up there. I think it was the first time ever in the history that I've had that pennant that I've been able to put the Mariners at the top of it. So, because I didn't have it when they had that 13-2 start back in 2019. I hadn't put it up yet, and so I finally get to put the Mariners up in first place. It was beautiful.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right. News. There's really only one little bit of news, and we're about to see it. This is probably going to be like dated by the time everyone listens to this, but like Kyle Lewis is coming back.
Yes,
he's back today.
So we are talking about dating us. We're filming this episode right before the Dodgers series.
Yes,
and he is expected to make his first appearance of the season during the series. We're not sure if it's going to be Game 1 or Game 2.
Scott says he's ready for today. That's all I'm saying. And if Scott says it, I believe it.
I believe it too. I love Scott, man, dude. Fucking Scott, bring me home the fucking pennant.
Yeah, it's April 19th at about 6 p.m. my time, 5:10 p.m. Local Seattle time. That puts us exactly 2 hours before first pitch today. And I mean, Kyle Lewis is back. This is the rookie of the year. Like, we're already in first place, Nick, and we're adding. Yeah, we're adding the reigning rookie of the year, a freaking home run machine, Kyle Lewis. Like, we're already good. Yeah, he had a great spring and what he was able to play. We're already good, and we're adding maybe the best player back to our team. It's just bonkers. We're adding the best player from last year back to our team, and we're already in first place. Like, is this even real life? Is this even real life?
I don't know. It's one of those things where, for the future of the team, you really gotta just hope that the pitching staff can keep up with the bats at this point. Because
honestly, the pitching staff has been better than the bats. I mean, the bats have not been bad, but like the bats have been dead in some games, right? Especially before we went into the road trip, right? When we left Seattle, a week and a half ago now, before we went to Minneapolis, we were kind of like, shit, like, are we going to be able to hit? Like, where are these guys? It's time to wake up. Let's go. And then all of a sudden, Kyle Seager is like, oh, I'm just going to hit a bunch of home runs in the 6th, 7th, and 8th innings, and 9th innings. Oh, yes. Everyone else is just going to hit like crazy. And it's just like going to Minneapolis, then going to Baltimore, the bats woke up. And even against Houston, like we put a 7 spot on them yesterday. I think that was the most runs we've had in a game. And it was in the rubber match. Like this was for the series, right? I mean, and winning series in baseball, it doesn't really mean that much, but it means something, right? Like, especially to the players. I think it means a lot more to the players, like winning series, like saying, oh, we beat the Astros 2-1 at home. Yeah. Like when, prior to last year, when did we ever beat the Astros? Never.
I don't think it's happened in like 4 or 5 years. I don't think we've won a series against the Astros since at least 2018.
Yeah, I mean, we never beat prior to like the weird COVID year last year, we never won series against the Astros. Now, we're just kicking Astro butt. We're just bumping them up and down the baseball diamond.
I mean, it is worth noting that obviously they didn't have a couple of their key guys that are really important to their squad because they were out for COVID reasons, right?
Yeah, but also in this series...
who cares?
In this series, though, for the Astros, the guys that hit the best were these new guys at the bottom of the lineup.
Yes.
They're like the guys that hit the guys that had the best, Yoli, what was it? Gurriel and who else was on there? Who else, that we saw, the Castro, like all these guys that we'd seen in Astros uniforms before. And you talked about the Astros booing. I got to shout out to the fans that actually went to the games to not boo the non-cheating Astros, the new Astros, and to like boo the heck out of the old Astros. Like the Astros, the cheating Astros, they did not hit well. It was all these new guys, these up-and-comer guys for the Astros, which is just, like, kind of annoying in the sense that, like, I'm going to be kind of ticked if the Astros could just, like, farm system just, like, replenish everything they've lost. Like, that's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
But, like, you say that their best players were out. The guys that replaced them were the best players that played this weekend. So, I don't know. Like,
they definitely they pulled their weight, for sure.
Yeah, and also those guys were the guys that were on like a 5 or 6 game losing streak. Those like, I don't know. To me, it's like I don't read too much into it. The fact that they were like, who are they missing? Bregman and Altuve and whatever. Like
Martin Maldonado.
Maldonado. I mean, he tears up the Mariners every time. Actually, could have been scary.
Mariners every single time he's here.
Yeah, last year he wrecked the Mariners. So I mean, it's like. That's kind of scary, but honestly, like, I don't read anything into it. Maybe this is just my Mariners bias. I read nothing into the fact that they had, those guys missing because of COVID. Like, just don't get COVID.
Yeah, what's actually really exciting post this Astros series, though, is that we're playing some pretty hot baseball right now, right? And we're going into the best team in the National League and the reigning best team in the American League with the Red Sox right now, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, like, we have the 3rd best record. We have to face over the next, 6 games. We have to face the number 1 and the number 2 team. So it's kind of frightening. I mean,
even looking beyond that, the next 4 games after that are Houston again. So this is going to be a really hard 10-game stretch. But going into it, this is the kind of hot streak that you want, right?
Oh, for sure.
If you're about to face the Dodgers, you want to go into that series going 5-2 against like the Houston Astros.
Could you imagine? Like, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. What if we just like sweep the Dodgers? Is that crazy? Is that literally has to be the biggest pop off? Like, if we're not being talked about on like ESPN and everywhere, if we just come in and beat the Dodgers, which honestly, I'm not scared of the Dodgers. I should be scared of the Dodgers, but I'm not.
Oh, you should be. Dude, did you watch any of the Dodgers versus San Diego games?
Yeah, they're terrifying.
Yeah, they're horrifying. Oh my god. But even if I think the Mariners sweep the Dodgers in these 2-game series, 1, it's only a 2-game series, so people will take that away from the Mariners. And 2, I think that people are a little annoyed, or a little not annoyed. Maybe the average baseball fan has seen a little too much Dodgers right now, considering I think most baseball fans probably watch 2 out of 3 of those LA versus San Diego games, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe even if the Dodgers lose, they'll just fucking sweep it under the rug.
Yeah. I mean, I guess let's just cover the future games right now. I'm going to be honest, though, and this kind of goes into it, like, I don't know. We're kind of all over the place right now, but we're already talking about this. I have Baseball Savant up here for this game that's upcoming. I know you have it up too. I'm looking at this, and I look at the Dodgers lineup. It's just all red. It's just all red. And for any reference, like the redder the number is on base. So Baseball Reference like has the numbers, the stats up for all the players, all the pitchers, everything like that. And then they color code them. The redder it is, the more red, the deeper the red, the better it is. The more blue it is, and the darker the blue, the worse it is. I'm looking at the Dodgers side. It's all red. It's all red. If we look at the Mariners side, the first four batters all red. The bottom 6 batters blue. It's blue as hell. I'm blue.
It's a scary thing, but you look at this lineup and you do gotta remember this is without Kyle Seager. Like Kyle Lewis. Kyle Lewis will be taking over for one of those outfield spots. So I'm assuming it's going to be Taylor Trammell. Will probably be sitting out today.
Yeah, just because he's been so cold, right?
He's been so cold.
I wonder if they've put lineups up. Oh, you know what? They did put lineups earlier. Because baseball Savant doesn't, and this is in their starting lineup. They don't have Kyle Lewis in, but I'm almost certain.
Oh no, baseball.com or MLB.com doesn't have Kyle Lewis in as well.
Yeah, I'm almost certain that I saw a starting lineup earlier. Here it is. Okay. Yeah, Mitch Haniger, Ty France, Kyle Seager, Marmoleos, White, Terrence, Trammell, Dylan Moore, Crawford. Yeah, so Kyle Lewis is not starting today. It doesn't mean that he's not going to see the field. But
yeah, he might get in there for like in the 4th or 5th inning or something.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, definitely could be, a substitution, especially, like you said, for Trammell, because Trammell's a left-handed batter, right? Am I crazy? And,
no, you're right.
They're going up against, May. What's his name? Dustin May. I'm pretty sure he's a right-handed
The big carrot top. No, he's a lefty. I believe
is he a lefty? Oh, why wouldn't you get caught? No, he's a righty. And so maybe once we get past Dustin May and they bring in like a lefty, you put in Kyle Lewis for a pinch hit. Okay, I see it. I don't know. Exciting, dude. I'm so excited for these series. I almost do you have anything else to say about, we've talked about I don't really have anything more to say about the Orioles. Do you have anything to say about the Orioles?
No, I mean, so I really wish that was a sweep. I don't know if you watched the one game that they lost, but I almost felt like it was one of those moments where the Mariners had won the first game in the day because they played 2 doubleheaders, right?
Right.
So they won the first game, and they were almost like, well, we won the first game, we can kind of lose this one, and then they did. Like, it almost felt like the defense was a little sluggish, the pitching was just like he tried, but he couldn't make it work, and the bats just like stopped working after the 7th, I believe.
Wasn't there like an error too that kind of cost the Mariners? So I'm looking here. It was bad.
Right.
Yeah, we had 3 errors in that game. That's what I'm trying to remember. Yeah, that was the bad defense game, which is reminiscent to the first year we did this podcast when we were the worst defensive team in baseball.
Yes.
So
exactly what I'm getting at,
if I'm looking at it here,
those 3 errors in that game were all in the same inning, and that one inning like lost us.
Yeah, and they all led to scores. Like, if I'm looking at our pitchers, we gave up 7 runs that game. Only 2 of those runs were earned.
Yeah.
And we even got off in the 3rd inning. We got off to a 4-0 lead. Margavicius, he gives up some runs, but the errors get them back to tied. Then the errors in the 4th inning again. And then we get 2 runs to get us tied again in the 7th inning, the top of the 7th inning, and then another error results in us losing the game, on a walk-off. And so it's like, I don't know. I don't like have an opinion, I guess. I just like I thought the Orioles series was fine, but you're right. I guess we should have swept them, right?
Yeah, we absolutely should have. I was really disappointed when we lost that game.
Yeah, like if we just play not even like great defense, if we play adequate defense, we win this game comfortably.
Yeah, especially because like it's Baltimore. Like they don't even really have an offense, right?
I mean, at the time they were 5-5 though. Like Baltimore's apparently not terrible this year.
Yeah, but that's because they 4-game swept the Red Sox at the beginning of the year, who were like super, and they were super. Baltimore was super hot at the time, and then they lost the next 5, right? Mm-hmm. So like the Baltimore going into the Mariners season, ice cold team, and I think we should have taken that game too.
Yeah, I mean that would have been huge too to be 11-5 right now. I mean, 10, dude, we can't complain. 10-6, can't complain.
Oh no, 10-6. No, we're thrilled. But like, if we were, I would feel much better going into this tough 13 game stretch, considering it's even the Angels right after the Houston, right? So this next 13-game stretch, this next 2 weeks of Mariners baseball, might be super fucking rough for us.
But here's the thing, and here's my optimistic Mariners fan coming in.
Okay, here it comes.
If we are even anywhere near first place, even just next week, even just next week, if when you and I meet after this Red Sox series and Dodgers series, if we're still in first place or even anywhere near first place, that's busted. Like, we're in a great spot. And then after the week after that, if we meet here in 2 weeks, and after we face that week, and then we face the Astros and the Angels, and especially against our division rivals, right? If we go and beat down the Angels and win the series again against the Astros, we're going to be sitting so pretty. After the first month of the season, basically, because that'll basically be the end of the first month, and we'll be in a great spot.
First place in the standing, right? So even if they just go over the next 13 games, like 7-6 or 6-7 or 5-8, that's pretty good. Like 5-8 would probably sit them in first or second place, considering where the division is at, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have a pretty good chance of still being first or second place podcast.
That's the plan, dude. All right. So here's the thing. We got to do the thing we do every podcast, and we should have the same answer, I think. But we got to do our MVPs of the week.
Thank you. Who's your MVP?
It's got to be the same one you have, right? It's got to be Mitch.
I mean, I have Mitch as. I think I even shouted him out during one of these games, and I was just like, "Man, I'm feeling really good about my Mitch Haniger MVP call."
You did. I mean, okay. Here's the thing, Mitch Haniger. I just want to read you his batting line from the last seven days.
It's pretty good.
He's slashing 429, 448, 786 for an OPS of 1.234. His OPS is 1.234 over the last week. He has 2 home runs, 8 RBIs, 12 hits. I think he might have led baseball in hits over the last week or something close to that. For the year, he is 5th in the American League in hits. Mitch Haniger is a monster.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. I literally he's just automatic right now.
I mean, we know how good Mitch is, but it's really surprising to see him this good after so long gone from the majors, right?
He only has 2 strikeouts. He's the leadoff hitter for us. He had 28 at-bats this week and 2 strikeouts. Marco walked more guys than Mitch Haniger has struck out this week. And Marco never walks people, but that's a completely different problem that needs to be talked about.
He's having Marco's a really good stretch of baseball.
Mitch Haniger is busted. He's broken. He's what is his rating in MLB The Show?
Oh, just a solid, not very good 75.
He's a 70. He's got to be the best 75 player of all time. He's got to be the greatest. He got to be the greatest bronze of all time.
I have been really, really livid about this, but Ty France is a 66.
He's got to be the best. He's got to be the best black circle of all time. I don't even know what do you call people that aren't even bronzes?
Common. It's common. Yeah.
Oh, it's got to be the best common of all time.
I know. I don't get it. I don't understand it, man.
Yeah,
dude.
So, is Mitch not your MVP of the week?
No, he's my MVP. I was wondering if you were gonna pick Ty France because he did get 2 walk-offs this week.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, Ty France. Here's the thing, though. Don't get me wrong. Vive la France. But if you just even compare it right now, his slash line of the last week: 280, 345, 600. His OPS is under 1,000. He had 7 hits, which is almost half of what Mitch had in the same amount of time. He did have 2 home runs, 2 walk-offs. There's something to be said, a respectful, honorable mention to Ty France. But Mitch Haniger had a busted week. He is literally just a cheat code right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And no one's talking about him. No one except for as far as I understand, like I'll be the first to say I'm not the best at following like the national media narrative around Major League Baseball. You know, I've been telling people like I'm a fraud baseball fan because I know everything about the Mariners and nothing about what's going else on in baseball. Like I'm the world's biggest, like I call myself a baseball fan, but I'm an absolute fraud unless we're talking about the Mariners. But my understanding is that Mitch is not getting like, did he get Player of the Week? Like who had a better week than Mitch Haniger?
He didn't. They gave it to someone on the Dodgers, I believe.
Don't they do it for different leagues?
Oh, right. I don't know who the American League won, but it is a match.
Let's see. Baseball Players of the Week.
So as you're looking that up, I just want to say, like, I think it's just more to what we've talked about quite a bit, and it's just that, like, MLB as a whole doesn't put respect on the Mariners' name enough.
Yeah, and JD Martinez got it. I would be very curious to see what I'm gonna have to look this up. What was JD Martinez's week? I can't imagine it's better than Mitch, but we'll see. You can keep going.
I mean, I didn't really have too much more to say because we've talked about it so much. But, like, it doesn't matter what the Mariners do. They never get the national, like, spotlight that, like, they should in their moments. Like, yes, Kyle Lewis got that Rookie of the Year last year, but it almost looked like he didn't. I don't know if you guys saw the narrative for the entire year last year, but, like, for the first 40, 45 games, it was all Luis Robert. The entire time. It's so frustrating to, like, listen to.
I guess Rodon got AL Player of the Week. He did have a no-hitter.
He sure did, yeah.
Oh, wait, this is... Oh, no, okay. No, it wasn't JD Martinez. I was going to say JD Martinez's stats were BOGO this last week. It must have been better 2 weeks ago. Okay, I'm confused with when they're being released. So... Baseball Reference hasn't updated it yet, but this week it was so they don't. I thought they give one to a hitter and one to a pitcher. They actually give it to Carlos. I guess they only do one, and Carlos Rodon. Carlos Rodon got it, which is, I mean,
that's respectful.
Whatever. He had it. That's this. Okay, I will say this: having a no hitter is the type of week I would expect to beat, Mitch Haniger's last week. That's all I'm gonna say.
Hey,
like you would have to do that.
When you saw that he got that no-hitter, were you surprised? Because I don't know if you remember, but the week before that, Rodon pitched against the Mariners. Mm-hmm. He went 7 innings, struck out 9, and was absolutely untouchable. In the whole game, he only threw 2 pitches, and that was the fastball-slider combo.
I mean, it was definitely one of those things where it's like, here's what I'll say. When I saw that he had a no-hitter, I was kind of like, yeah, he's pretty freaking good. What I was more surprised about is them talking about him to being like, oh, like before this year, he wasn't a very good pitcher, like blah, 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 because he doesn't have like the history of it, right? Like historically, he's not a great pitcher, I guess. So.
Yeah. Well, I think a big part of his storyline was that he was like injury prone.
Right. I think that's it, right? I'm gonna pull up. He's been in the league since 2005. I mean, he has a positive WAR, a WAR point of 7.3, 4.0 ERA. He has an ERA of 0 this year. Oh, 2 games. Okay, he's only pitched in 2 games. He pitched against the Mariners and he pitched his no-hitter. So, yeah. I mean, I wasn't surprised having just seen him. I was like, yeah, isn't that guy pretty good? Because I was more confused about the narrative that, like, oh, he's not a very good pitcher. But, like, he's obviously busted this year.
Especially talking about someone that's currently throwing a perfect game at the time, right into the 9th inning. And I'm like, how is the storyline on this guy that, like, they're almost pushing the storyline that he's, like, lucking into a no-hitter, right?
Yeah, I thought, I mean, he just seemed pretty good to me. I don't know, like, I'm not, like, surprised. I was actually kind of, like, I think the most shocking thing I heard about that was the next day at work, one of my coworkers was like, he should have had the perfect game. Like, that was basically a perfect game. I was like, what do you mean? He hit the guy. he's like, yeah, but he barely hit him. And I was like, what are you talking about? It's not like the guy just didn't get out of the way. Like, he hit his front foot. It's not like the batter like didn't move.
He hit that whole foot. He didn't like hit a shoelace. He hit the whole front of the
foot.
I
mean, and to me it's like it's not like he threw like, at his shoulder or something like that and the guy didn't duck out of the way. It's like it was a bad slider at his front foot. Like no one would be expected to dodge that, right?
Especially
I don't know.
If it was a back foot slider that he hit him with, I would
be like,
oh man. But
I agree.
Front foot slider, you completely missed the zone.
Yeah, right. I agree. If it was a back foot slider, I've been like, damn, the player couldn't get out of the way of that. That's kind of cold. But like the front foot slider, like no, like of course everyone gets hit by the front foot slider. There's no one that's dodging the front foot slider. Come on, let's be real here.
Jump out of the way and face plant into the ground?
Yeah, I don't know. That was bizarre. That was a weird thing that someone said to me. Okay.
No,
anyways,
I heard a very similar take at the time too, so I get it.
Anyways, I think so. That's our MVP, Mitch Haniger. I mean, we're just getting sidetracked like crazy. I love it. I don't know. Do you have anything else? Let's see. If we break in, I don't really feel we talked about the defense. I don't really feel the need to harp on that anymore. Like the sad thing about defense is the only time we ever talk about it is like when it's bad. I will say this.
Yeah.
The Mariners missed Evan White. Like they need Evan White healthy. Like Evan White needs to be healthy. It's very important over there at first base, just for like the core of our defense is that our Mariners defenders have great gloves, noodle arms. They need Evan White over there to like snag all of their wacky throws.
Hey, well, Evan White is back in the lineup today, hitting fifth, right behind Jose Marmolejos. So
yeah, he had a massive home run. You know, shout out to Evan White. That home run was just bonkers.
I know, and I really just want to see more of that. Like we were talking about. I don't know if this was before the show, but like they have Evan White's hard hit rate as like one of the lowest in all of baseball. I think that's such that metric just seems wrong.
Just because it seems like he's crushing it, right?
Crushes the fucking baseball.
I kind of wonder what his BABIP is, because I feel like he like makes good contact too. He's just like, is he unlucky or I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Anyways, yeah, as far as our batting goes, I mean, I kind of brought it up. I don't really know what else to kind of say about it. Like, I mean, Evan White's strikeout rate is not great, 26%
Expected
or whatever.
batting average, 28th percentile. So yeah, hard hit rate 8%.
Oh, his 28th percentile. That's not good, right?
That's not good. That's bad.
Yeah, so I mean, he's not really getting screwed. Then he's not getting BABIP'd. I don't know. I mean, I'm not out on Evan White. Evan White's fine.
No, I'm not on Evan White at all. Especially because I've talked about this in the past. I know I've probably brought it up on podcast 3 or 4 different times now. But every single at bat I see Evan White take, he gets squeezed on 2 or 3 pitches, and they're not even close. Like,
yeah,
I swear to God, 2 or 3 times a day, the dude turns around, looks at the umpire, and just goes, "What?" And then the next pitch, it's even farther outside, and they calls it again because he probably already said it, right?
Yeah. So if we look at the lineup as a whole, Nick, do you think basically Baseball Savant right now is telling us that the top 4 of our lineup is good, and the bottom 5 is trash?
Yeah.
Like, do you actually believe that? Is there any credence to that? Because I'm gonna tell you right now. Let me tell you the bottom 5 of our starters today. Evan White, Luis Torrens, Taylor Trammell, Dylan Moore, J.P. Crawford. I don't believe Baseball Savant that they're trash. I just don't.
No, I don't either, especially because JP's heating up with the bat. We know what D Moore can do when he's on, which he's currently not. I don't know. Well,
and he's getting. I would say that Dylan Moore is getting a little bit hotter too. Like I would say. Really that's nice talking there. I would say his best series, at least from my observation of him, was this Houston series. I actually thought he looked better up there. He didn't have the results right.
Yeah.
But of this season so far, and it's not great series to compare against, right? But I thought that Dylan Moore's best series, at least the way he looked up there, was maybe the Houston series or maybe the Baltimore series. Like I think this last week was better for him, right? And he hasn't quite turned it around, but like I believe in Dylan Moore. J.P. Crawford had a great week. So the fact that like all of his stats are still in the blue is kind of unfortunate because I thought J.P. Crawford, isn't he on like an 8-game hit streak or something?
Yeah, he's tearing you up. I do believe, it's like 8 or 9 actually.
Yeah, J.P. Crawford is fantastic right now. I think I want to say Blauer said it perfectly on the broadcast. He's giving you a second leadoff man. The reason that Mitch Haniger has so many RBIs that Ty France has so many RBIs, that Kyle Seager has so many RBIs, is because J.P. Crawford is getting on base really well, I think, right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's surprising. You look at his expected on-base percentage on Baseball Savant, it's only 241. So he's getting on a lot more than supposedly he should, which doesn't seem right to me.
I don't know.
J.P. Crawford's the kind of guy who always seems to have a good at-bat, but maybe not the best result every time, right?
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what to think about that, I guess. I'm surprised. It must just be because he started off so bad and had such a bad spring training. I don't know if there's any projection into that at all. So yeah, I don't know.
Actually,
that's stinky.
So I know it's a little off what we were talking about, but so whenever I watch JP bat, he looks so mad. Every single time when he doesn't barrel up a ball, he throws his bat or he slams it against the ground. And I'm like, dude, chill out. I know you want better results for yourself, and I know you're expecting more of yourself than a pop out or a ground out or something. But you can't pout every time, man.
Mm-hmm. Damn, that's interesting. I guess I haven't noticed that. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Evan White. I just believe in Evan White. Luis Torrens. I love Luis Torrens. I'm surprised that Baseball Savant doesn't like Luis Torrens. And then Taylor Trammell, he doesn't get the results. I feel like Taylor Trammell is a great at bat every time, and you can see it in his walk percentage. His walk really percentage is again going back to Baseball Savant really is deep red.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we talked about it that potentially being patient could hurt him in the future. Okay, Nick, we have one more thing that we have to talk about before we get out of here, and it's our best unit. Let's just say that right off the bat. Our bullpen is so bonkers good right now. It's ridiculous. Our bullpen is amazing, and I will say this: I will say there's only one thing I'm worried about it, but you got to tell me. You got to tell me your thoughts on our bullpen.
My thoughts? I'm not surprised by this at all.
Really?
No. So
you called this. You saw this coming, huh?
I mean, we were going into the offseason, we were talking about needing to revamp the bullpen and tune it up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I saw that they were acquiring relievers, I don't know too much about relievers. I don't know what makes a good reliever. But just based off of what they were talking about them on the MLB.com write-up that they would do, I'm like, this guy seems pretty good. So Keenan Middleton, Tapia, Vest, Casey Sadler, and there's another guy that I'm missing. I thought they were all pretty good acquisitions.
Yeah, I mean, they're just
5 or 6 guys differently in your bullpen. That's a completely different bullpen.
Yeah, right. I mean, they're just all busted right now. They're so good. Really good. Let me just tell you. So this is from someone on Twitter. Let me pull this up. The Mariners bullpen leads Major League Baseball in average, opponent slugging, and on base plus slugging. Mariners MLB hitters hit on average 33% worse against the Mariners bullpen than they do against every other than the average bullpen. Our bullpen is amazing, and the thing is it goes back to it. I said this word again. I'm gonna say it again. It's freaking spunk, is what it is. If you look at a guy like Keenan Middleton and you don't get pumped up, they're just I think it's an attitude, right? It's the thing we've been waiting for forever. Is a culture change among the Mariners players, and I think you're seeing it. And maybe it's being influenced by the results because they're playing so well right now. But when you watch, Keenan Middleton get fired up like he did, 2 nights ago, I think, and that wasn't a loss. The Mariners had a chance to come back against the Astros in that, and he gave them that chance because he had a lockdown inning, and he was fired up, ready to go. I mean, Will Vest, Jerry has been really good at hitting on these Rule 5 draft picks. Will Vest is just another one. Will Vest is looking freaking fantastic right now. Casey Sadler, a guy that most people would have said is a bum before this season, is so freaking good right now. And then your boy, Kendall Graveman, hasn't allowed an earned run this season.
That is my boy. And
Kendall Graveman has not allowed an earned run this season. Like, this bullpen is just fantastic. And then you got other guys kind of like rounding it out. You've got Drew Steckenrider, Rafael Montero, Anthony Misowitz, who, again, another guy, hasn't allowed a run this season. And then LJ Newsome, who got a win last night, coming in after, who was it? Margavicius started off the game. Like, This bullpen is bonkers right now. It's bonkers. It's so good. I love this bullpen right now.
Yeah, it's exciting. I'm really enjoying it. I mean, I don't have a bad thing to say about them.
Yeah,
like, we're not really the kind of people that like to talk about the bullpen too much. So not talking about them is almost like it's good for us, right?
Yeah, for sure. I just think like it's one of those things. I think back to like the last really good baseball team that I followed would have been the 2018 Milwaukee Brewers, and they had the best bullpen in baseball that year. And to the point where their starters would go like 4 innings and then they just go to the bullpen, or like 4 maybe 5 innings they'd go to the bullpen. And that team almost went to the World Series. They went to Game 7 of the National League Championship Series.
I got a question for you, really
what's
quick.
That?
Would you? So they're both coming up on free agency. Would you rather have Sugar, or would you rather have Hader?
Probably Hader.
Really?
Because he's part of it is I think because he's a lefty, he's just been more dominant. Although Edwin's been good this year. Like Edwin had a rough year last year, he's been good this year. I love them both, but I think Hader and the thing I feel like Scott would use Hader differently too, and like maybe this would be bad, but a lot of the times what they'll do, though is they'll have Josh Hader pitch like
in the 7th or 8th.
Like 2 or 3 innings, and then he'll be out for like 4 days. Like to me, I don't see Scott. Scott doesn't. Maybe we just don't have the assets to do that, and like Hader's one of those guys that can do that. I don't see Scott using him like that, but I also think he won't have to, because I think if there's one thing that our starting pitching is good at, it's eating up innings. Our starting pitching is very, very consistent about being able to go 6 innings, right? And to eat up a whole 2/3 of the game. And that's really, it's helped out our bullpen. And I was going to say the one thing that I'm honestly worried about the bullpen, but it's not really reflected in the numbers here, is I feel like Scott only has like 3 guys that he goes to. I feel like he always just goes to Sadler, Vest, and Middleton. But obviously, I'm looking at the stats here.
Well.
Yeah, I'm looking at the stats here, and it's pretty balanced in our bullpen. So I was kind of worried that like Scott was overusing our best bullpen guys, but no, he's been using everyone equally. So we just have a busted bullpen. I love it.
Yeah, no, it's really nice. It's one of those things after 2019 and 2020 that like it's hype, dude. It's really exciting.
Yeah, the only thing I don't know if the Mariners will do is that if they're willing to pay a lot of money for a bullpen piece like Hader. That's the only thing I don't know, right?
Yes, I actually agree with that. I mean
especially because they want starting pitching, right? As much as we love all of our starters, especially if maybe Pax gets healthy, we go back to having those solid 6 starters again. I mean, Yusei looks really great this year. Marco, turned around his crappy start. Chris Flexen looks awesome. Justice, we'll see how he does tonight against, a really good Dodgers lineup.
I mean, Justice at this point, like, I project him as being like a 1, 2, 3 guy in our bullpen for like at least the next 5 years. Like, he's really good. He hasn't really shown me anything that I'm too worried about, right?
Yeah.
I don't know about you.
So, I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited about the bullpen. I'm excited about the Mariners. Like, yeah, I'm excited. Like, I don't know how you can't be. If you're not excited about Mariners baseball right now, and if you're one of those people that's on Twitter and you're like, oh, the Mariners started hot in 2019 and then they fell off the face of the earth, like, you suck.
That's a completely different team.
Yeah, if you're one of those people that like that just wants to shit talk the Mariners and isn't ready to like be excited about these young players, and this team is only going to get better. This team is adding this week. They're adding the reigning Rookie of the Year in Kyle Lewis. Sooner or later this season, they're going to be adding Jared Kelenic. They're going to be adding more pitching. From our top. Our prospects are so deep right now. Our farm system is so deep. Like, if you can't get excited about this Mariners team and this start, like, I feel pity for you, because this is the time to get on board. This is the time to, like, fall in love with these guys like we have, right? And so, I don't know. That's all I really have to say.
Especially because you gotta think that, like, this next offseason has to be good for the Mariners, right?
Yeah.
Like it's so bright. Like, the future's so bright for the team that you gotta think there's gotta be some guys going into free agency that, like, want to come here and, like, try to make a playoff run.
Yeah, and they've got money to spend. You know, they're showing a lot of promise. Like, I don't know. I mean, all right, we got to wrap it up though. What is your prediction? I won't ask you to predict the games. I want you to predict whether we are in first place when we meet next week to discuss Mariners baseball. Are we in first place after these two series?
I'm gonna say yes.
You gotta say yes.
I'm pretty hopeful and confident with our team right now. I think we can at least go like 6-7 over the next 13 games.
Yeah.
Oh, you said over the next week, didn't you?
Yeah.
So over the next 7 games, I could see us taking 3 for 4. I could absolutely see that.
I think we play 6 games. Then we play 2 against the Dodgers, 4 against Boston. If we just go 3-3, if we just play average, if we play average and we go 3-3, we could very easily still be in first place. I know that the Angels are good. I know that the A's are really hot, and whatever, right? But like, I think it's very possible. Like, we split with the Dodgers and then, like, at least split, if not going 3-1 against Boston. Like, I don't, and maybe I'll be proven wrong, I don't believe Boston's for real. I just don't. So I see us beating, especially because, you know, these games against Boston, they're what am I looking at here?
I think that's pretty rough, dude. I don't know. I'm not going to go out here saying Boston's not real. I mean, I remember
I don't believe in them. I don't believe in the Boston Red Sox.
Way better than they were playing last year. So for me to come out and say I don't believe in them this year would be a weak take for me.
I mean, here's the thing, like,
pretty real team.
Our pitching is solid right now. Our bullpen is solid, and then we get to go play in that little tiny ballpark that is Fenway. Like, how many home runs are Mitch and Ty gonna hit over the Green Monster? Like 50 each? I don't know.
It's exciting. I love every time we get to go to Fenway, just because I know I'm gonna watch some missiles.
Yeah, I'm ready for this. I'm ready to go watch some baseball, Nick. Let's get out of here, and I'll see you next week. Go M's.
Go M's.
There's a drive, deep right field, say goodbye. Hey, Lloyd, do some delivery for the truck to the airport.